Hey guys, this is Nick coming to you with another Infinity Kingdom video. And this one, because the patch note is now live, up and running in the game, we are going to look at the new feature called Affinity feature. Now, this is available for everyone. This is a system that is new to the game, and there's a lot to unpack here because there's a lot of information about it. There's a lot of new things, good, bad, maybe. We're going to talk about that as well. We are going to break down this video in 4 parts. The first one, we're going to look at the important information when it comes to this feature. There are a few that you need to be aware of, otherwise you're going to throw your letters a little bit everywhere. 2, we're going to look at the collectible when it comes to the Insignia, collectible. It's all about the castle skin. Then we're going to talk in part 3 about the Immortals. And last part 4, we're going to give you my feedback on this new feature and a few takeaways to make sure you, the best way possible, the more efficient way possible, upgrade your Immortals tab. This is very important. This is how you're going to use your daily letters and your Asteria coins. We're going to come back to it in a bit. So part 1, the important information. When you look at all this information, I'm going to give you the most important ones. You can read it. It's important. But after watching this video, you're going to get the most important ones. First, the Affinity feature does not give any strength or bonus. This is important. It's not because you have, example, Alex as your main carry, and you go ahead, you max out Alex Affinity here, and you suddenly think that you're going to get a big boost. Not the case. Dust is going to bring the stats up and you should max it out. Affinity do not give you anything on Alex. This is extremely important. A lot of players probably use their letter on their main carry thinking that it's going to boost their stats. That's not the case. It's not going to happen. This is a critical information. Remember it. Then another very important information when it comes to the patch note, it's the following up about Affinity. It's Insignia. The Insignia System feature, which is attached to the Affinity feature, is what is going to boost your Immortals stats. Now, unlike Dust, where you boost the dust of one Immortal at a time, the Insignia System is for all your Immortal. It does not matter who you're gonna boost your Affinity with. As soon as it's unlocked, the stat goes to everybody. This is extremely important, again, because you don't have to do Alex. You should not do Alex, actually, and I explain why in part 3. But quickly, if you go into the Insignia, you have all this information here. When you click on the dots here, first, this is where you collect Insignia that grants attribute bonus. You have attribute bonus from the Immortal, which is this one. And the activated one here is from the collectible. Maybe the festival one as well, but we don't know yet because we can unlock them. And other, it's not out yet. But this one here, I don't have any skin. And this is the reason it says no boost, no Insignia obtained. Because this is where you have the boost. At the end of the video, I'm going to switch to my main account. I have skin unlocked and I'm going to show you again. Okay, but this is important because when it says Insignia are automatically activated once condition met, it's very simple to understand that if you have unlocked the skin, you will get the bonus right away. This means a Mega Well that have unlocked all of the skins today, when they open their game, they're going to be stronger by all these bonuses. These bonuses adds up. They're not huge, as you can see, plus 1% only, but they adds up and you do not have to exhibit them to get the bonus. The exhibit here where you can exhibit 5 is only showcasing collectible. Basically here you see these 5 dots here, these 5 spots are the one that you're going to exhibit. Exhibiting is not a condition to get the buff. Unlocking them is the condition to get the extra buff. So again, if a Miguel already unlocked all of these, I did the math for you. There's 24 skin. The buffs goes from physical damage, magical damage, physical defense, magical defense. When it comes to the skin, with everything unlocked, a Mega Whale today has +7 physical attack, +5 magical attack, +6 physical defense, and +6 magical defense. Again, not the end of the world if you are not a spender, and even if you don't have any skin, it's not the biggest buff. It is a buff, and more importantly, it will keep adding up. And that is the important thing about part 2. When it comes to collectible, this is an extra buff that will just simply adds up. And very important here, extremely important here, if you have unlocked Corridor of Ghostland level 1, you have this unlocked and it's already the max value that you get out of it. If your skin is 10 star, you do not get plus 10%. This is important because otherwise the buff would be just too huge. Imagine this 24 skin, it would be 240% overall. It's just too much, right? This is only +1. So Mega Whales, 10 star skin, still +1. Does not matter. Important. Now we're gonna go to part 3. And this is, in my opinion, the most important part for everybody, especially free to play. Because there's extremely wrong information going around this being broken when it comes to so many stats being adding up for pay to win players, but that's not the case. First, at the moment, there's no bundle to buy Affinity content, right? You look at all of these, I look at all of them, there's nothing, nowhere that you can buy Affinity, at least at the moment. The only way that you can get Affinity at the moment is from two things. First, you have the daily. You have a letter of blessing, which is going to count towards Affinity when you use it. It's only the last chest. You can take a look at the other ones. There's nothing here. You can take a look here. There's nothing here. I also took a look at this here. It didn't change. You cannot get lucky and get some Affinity. Nothing changed. Again, nothing changed here. Now, I look at Golden Path. There's nothing changed in the Golden Path when it comes to Affinity. It's not there as well, right? The other place that you can get Affinity is from Asteria. When you look at the calendar, if you have Asteria in your calendar, you're going to be able to look at the information, which is here, the reward called Otherworld Crystal. Here it says obtain Immortal Artifact as reward. This is outdated. I'm 100% sure this is before when Artifact was unlocked, Asteria came into the game. Now it's going to be Affinity that you're going to gain as reward for this system. And you can see it. You're going to use the Otherworld Crystal here in the Asteria shop or the Otherworld shop to buy Affinity things. We're not going to go too deeply into the shop because we don't know exactly how they're going to work when it comes to the number of points they're going to give. But a few things that is important. It's the daily limits on these stuff here and the information that you have. I already used Letter of Blessing on 2 accounts. It's 200 points. We're going to come back to it. I'm going to show you on the Immortals I unlocked the Affinity on. But this letter here that you get daily is 200 points. Now this one says for all Immortal, right? You give it to an Immortal, it's general, it goes to all Immortal. This here, same thing, same description. You give it to any Immortal, it's going to give points. You don't know how many points. This one, if you didn't use it, you didn't know. I'm telling you it's 200. Now, if you look at the price, this has to be at least 4 times 200. Otherwise, it's not worth it to buy it. You might as well just buy this 5 times, right? But now here, this is also important. You have some that says that it's going to give point if you give it to Immortal with the matching element. You can probably already guess. This is probably for water. This is probably for earth. This is probably for fire, lightning, and probably for wind, right? The 5 normal element. You don't have holy, you don't have shadow. At least at the moment, here, right, it's probably the matching one. This could be holy, don't know, we'll have to find out. This is also general, right, generic. It doesn't say given to an Immortal with matching elements. Now, another important thing, if this is 200, if this 200 as well, well, at the price, you might as well just buy this one. Very simple. Let's look at the Immortal and the Affinity itself. Again, I'm gonna remind you, I'm repeating myself because it's extremely important. You're gonna understand why very soon. But the Affinity itself does not give you any strength. So, knowing that, you need to be careful who you're gonna use your Affinity on. This is going to be in the takeaways because, again, extremely important. The letter gives 200. I gave it to my Chaos. That is Wukong. Number one thing that you need to be careful, again, as you can see, if you have not unlocked the Immortal yet, you cannot give any Affinity. It's just not possible, right? But once it's unlocked, you can give it to anybody you want. As you can see, I gave a letter 200 points. The first level is 200 points. The second level is 400 points. This is going to be plus 200 every level. It's almost impossible. It is impossible that it doubles every level. If it doubles every level for 30 level, if you do the math, you're going to be at 107 billion points. Just ridiculous. It's not going to happen. It's plus 200 per level. If you do the math at plus 200 per level, we're talking about 93k points. Because a letter gives 200 points, if you only use the dailies letter to max out the Affinity for one Immortal, is going to take over 400 days. This is where Asteria is going to come into play. This is where I think Asteria is probably going to give you quite a few points. We're going to have to see. Again, this is a system that is for a very long time grind, but it should not be 400 days per Immortal, right? So Asteria probably going to give you quite a few points. But now this is where you need to be extremely careful on who you actually level up your Affinity. Again, Affinity, because it does not give any strength to the Immortal it's on, it's only about unlocking this insignia here. You need to look at the value of each Immortal. Very simple. You're going to take a look at all the class here. Example, Water. This is an epic Immortal. It's a gold Immortal. You see physical attack plus 8. This is a gold Immortal as well. Defense plus 8. Physical attack plus 8. Magical attack plus 8. You go down and you look, it's very simple. Attack gold Immortal is giving you 8 physical attack. Archer gives you magical defense plus 8. Attack, same attack. Mage give you magical attack plus 8. Tanks give you physical defense plus 8. Now this is where you need to be careful, guys. This is a gold Immortal. You get plus 8 at the first level, which is bronze. If you go down, this is at level 15, by the way, on the Affinity of the Immortal that you get this. If you go down, you're going to see the same Immortals, right? You see here, Ragnar again. But this is silver. You get this at level 30. So maxing out the Affinity of this Immortal. You get another plus 10. Let's take a look. For a gold Immortal, so an epic Immortal, it's 200 to go from level 1 to level 2. What about a green Immortal? It's 200. What about a Chaos Immortal? Well, it's also 200. But when you look at the buff that it gives you once you unlock the Insignia, here, this is a green Immortal, and at level 15, you get plus 3. Well, it's very simple to do the math and understand that if it's the same amount of Affinity to max out any Immortal in the game, then you need to unlock the Chaos first. Because Chaos is going to give you plus 10 physical attack, where a gold is giving you plus 8. If it's the same amount that you need to spend on Affinity, everybody, it does not matter if you have Chaos Immortal in your March, it does not matter if you don't even use them because they're 0 star, well 1 star because they're at least unlocked. You need to max out your Chaos Affinity first. And more than that, you should max them out, not just reach level 15 because they go plus 200 each level. This is plus 10. And then you look at the Wukong at level 30, you get another plus 12. These are going to stack up. It's not plus 4 overall. You unlock this one, here you're going to see plus 10 attack. You unlock this one as well. Overall, you're gonna get plus 22. Again, you don't need to do the math. I did it for you. You don't need to look at all the portrait. I did it for you. Very simple. You do chaos first, you do epic after, then you do purple, then you do blue, then you do green. Simple as that. There's no crazy math to do. It's very simple. They just give more. Now, this is where it's important for free to play and make go well. Because you cannot pay for Affinity at the moment, as long as you do your dailies, as long as you do Asteria, and it's probably going to be maxed out on Asteria, if you do your levels at the highest level of Asteria, if you do your Alliance challenge, we're going to give you more detail once Asteria is live. We're going to do a video on that as well. But because you cannot pay for it, as long as you do it every time it's available, and you put the affinity towards the right immortal, which is chaos, the pay to win versus the free to play are not going to get any more stats than any other player when it comes to the immortal one. Until you can pay for affinity, this is not a pay to win system. The collectible is a pay to win system. The immortal is not a pay to win system, at least for now. Now, this is it for the information when it comes to affinity feature. The video is a little bit longer, so I'm going to quickly go into my feedback and a few important takeaways before I end the video. I know this one was a little bit longer, but it is a new feature. My feedback on this is overall, it's not the worst system. The collectible is very pay to win, but because you're maxed at plus 1% per unlock skin, the more skin you unlock, the more stats you get. It's not the end of the world. It's not huge amount, but it will add up as they add more skin. The immortal, I think, is done pretty well, given the fact that pay to win, at least at the moment, cannot go and max this out and get all these stats for just money, right? You need to play the game. You need to play the events. You need to do your dailies, and you need to give your affinity to the right immortals. Everybody is going to be about at the same level when it comes to this, so it's fine. What I don't like, however, is the way they name it. To me, this is not affinity. It should not have been affinity. It could have just been collectible. Like, just take this name here, because this is collecting. To me, this is about collecting this, that, this, and giving the name affinity to it. Make it sound like we're dating your immortal or something like that, which is weird and just not what Infinity Kingdom should be about. So I think the name is just wrong. But technically, the system, the feature itself, I think it's decent. I do think, however, before we add this added to the game, that we have a lot of things to kind of work on and retweak, then adding this feature. But it's not a bad feature itself. I actually kind of like it. I'm gonna enjoy unlocking these. When it comes to the skin, the other thing that I have to say is this is a way to give incentive to player to unlock all the skin. But I don't like the fact that once it's unlocked, you don't do anything with the skin. You don't get to use them. Example, if some player has this one maxed out already, and this one gets released soon, the only thing they're going to get from unlocking it is plus 1% on the attack bonus. The reality is they're probably not going to max this skin because they already maxed one. The stats might be a little bit worse, or even if it's about even, it's not worth it for them to max another skin, so they're always going to use that one. I already gave you one of my recommendations, my top 5 tweaks. I think this is some kind of way to try and incite people to buy on skin. I would rather have a system where you can equip the buff that you have on the skin with the look of a skin. I hope it's coming soon. It will make more sense to unlock all of them, in my opinion. Now, again, 3 takeaways that you need to remember. You must remember, extremely important. I've talked about it so many times in the video already. But the affinity system does not work like the dust system. It's not because you're going to give affinity to one specific immortal that one specific immortal is going to get added value bonus. The affinity does not bring you any bonus. It's the insignia that you unlocked that gives you bonus. And again, as it says, it goes to all immortal you own. not the one that you maxed out the affinity. This is extremely important. Takeaway number 2, the chaos gives you more, but so far it looks like the amount of affinity that you need to max out any of the immortal, chaos, gold, even green is the same amount. Don't waste your time and just do the chaos first. You're gonna get a little bit more stats. Better for everybody. And last takeaway, very important as well. You need to do your dailies, and you're gonna need to do Asteria if you want to keep up with the Immortal Affinity System. If you don't at the moment, which is good in my opinion, there's no way to pay for it. So if you're a pay-to-win player that doesn't like to do your dailies, but you want to do this system, you're gonna have to do your dailies. I hope this is gonna give you more information on the Affinity System. I hope this breaks down some of the bad information going around. If you have any question, any comments, just leave a comments in the YouTube channel, on the Discord as well. Again, have a good day, guys.